Actually, I'm gonna need this back.
So, about a month ago, I made a pretty big deal about the fact that I was ditching my bullet journal and I was moving into just a plain, boring notebook in an attempt to actually plan, to have everything in one place and to not have to worry about it being pretty or being precious or setting up spreads or doing any of the things that I felt I needed to do in my bullet journal. And for a few weeks, it was working really well. And I honestly believed I would never go back, but never say never. Because here we are in October and I'm going back in my bullet journal. There are, look, if you're here, you're a planner person. So you probably understand the desire to bounce between systems. How sometimes something works really well for a limited amount of time, but you come to realize, no, I really need something else. And for me, that almost always shows itself when I stop planning, when I completely stop making even simple to-do lists in here. I'm not keeping track of the things that I'm doing. I'm not making a plan because I'm not happy in the notebook anymore already. Part of it, I think, is because it's October and setting up October spreads in a bullet journal are my absolute favorite spreads to set up. Halloween in a bullet journal is just joy to me, and not doing that feels really weird. But if you saw my video from the weekend about how I'm absolutely stuck and frozen and in this kind of paralysis where I can't move and I can't see the next step forward, and I don't know how to fix that. So we're going to move back into my bullet journal and see if that helps me to find my next steps. If it helps me to get back into planning in a way that helps me move forward and get unstuck. So today we are going to set up October. I realize it's the middle of the month. I don't care. We're going to set up October in my bullet journal, and I'm going to talk just a little bit about what, and we're just going to talk a little bit while I'm doing it. I'm going to do it as a voiceover. I did already pull out all of my supplies, so you don't have to again watch me dig through all of my stuff, because I know not everybody's into that. So let's play. Let's just go play in my bullet journal. Come on. Somehow, some way, I always come back to my bullet journal. Listen, I really believed when I moved into that notebook that I had found the quote unquote planner piece that we all search for, we all long for. But I think in the back of my head, I always knew I was going to come back to my bullet journal because I love it. And I've talked in previous bullet journal videos before that I don't like to draw out monthly spreads because it's just so time consuming and it never turns out how I want it. So I always just create a monthly calendar in Canva and glue it in. I do a lot of cutting and pasting in my bullet journal because it's easier for me. It's more aesthetically pleasing. Not that that matters so much to me, but sometimes it does. And so yeah, I do a lot of printing and gluing in my bullet journal because it makes me happy. And then this is just a cute fall page from a super old digital dash box by Planner Press, and I printed it out on vellum so I could tip it in. It's one of my favorite designs. I haven't been subscribed to her site in years. I think that's from 2020. So unfortunately, that's not something that I can point you in the direction of where you can get one of your own pretty fall images to put in here. But I love it. And now I'm going to set up my daily pages. I don't usually do daily pages in my bullet journal. I've always just done like a vertical weekly spread, but part of what made me fall in love with using a notebook was having the space that I needed to make lists and notes and jot things down. So as I'm coming back to my bullet journal, I wanted to have more space to be free in it. So I decided to go ahead and try doing daily pages when it is not normally something that I would do.
And right here, you can see I'm having a devil of a time with this pen. I am not, while I do like a good aesthetic and, setting up Halloween stuff in my bullet journal was why I came back, I don't so much care about the mistakes. I use a lot of glue and I'll get glue stuck on pages. My handwriting is not the best, but I don't care. As long as I can read it, it works for me. And not everything has to be matchy matchy. I just want to play. I want to be back in this bullet journal so that I can play with it. Part of what took me out of the bullet journal was my belief that it had to be a certain way. And even though, like, the core of this channel is to not compare yourself to people on the internet, you can't help it sometimes when you're a bullet journal person because you see all these beautiful spreads, you see people tracking literally everything in their bullet journals, and you aspire to be like them. The problem is, most of us do not have the time, energy, or skill to make our bullet journals a work of art. So, by moving into a notebook instead, it was like I was giving myself permission to be messy and unhinged without taking the time to realize that I could do that in my bullet journal. It didn't have to be a plain, boring notebook to be used as a plain boring planner. So again, I'm coming into daily pages with the hope that I will be more free with it, that I will just allow myself to use it. I have got to get out of this place where I have just decision paralysis and I'm so stuck in, career endeavors that I don't even know what to do next. And I have to have a planner that I will use to plan. And every time I fall out of love with something, I stop planning in it. And then, I feel lost. Granted, this is the worst stuck I have ever felt in that, for the last couple weeks, I haven't even known what the next step is. So, I knew that something had to change, and I decided to start here because I already have everything I need. I know that when I am on form, my bullet journal works great for me. So, maybe this is a return to casual, non toxic productivity that will help me move forward and get back into a place with my various career endeavors that I want to be. Plus, I literally have more washi tape than Michael's. They have like totally reduced the amount of planner stuff that they carry. And I have always loved Halloween stickers and washi and just, in general, Halloween, that is my holiday. October is my season. And I didn't feel the need to decorate in my notebook because, again, I was in this headspace of this is what this has to be. And so, having moved out of my bullet journal because of the stress of setting up and decorating, once I was in the notebook, I didn't feel like I should be setting up spreads and decorating. So it became like this catch 22 where I wasn't using all of these things that I love in this season that I adore because I didn't want to feel disingenuous to the process. And, that is a me thing. I tell you guys all the time, don't let anyone else tell you what your planner should be. When in the back of my head, I can't stop behaving in a way that is the opposite of that advice, and then it becomes a do as I say, not as I do. And then I become one of those assholes on the internet telling you how things should be when I'm not following that. So I don't know. Right now, I'm just babbling, I think, because I just feel so lost that nothing is working. So we're going to try this for a while and see if I can make this work. One of my favorite things to do when I am in a place where I'm stuck is to make lists. They help me to, organize my thoughts and get things down on paper. So over the weekend, I made a list of the things that I could do, the small steps that I could take in October to try to get unstuck and move forward in the various parts of my career. And I put them up on my board, which, if you saw my video from Monday about getting unstuck, you've already seen. But I also wanted them in my planner. So this is almost my October to do list overall. I haven't scheduled when I will do these things, but it gives me a direction to go. And it's an easy to reference point in the planner that is going to help me to continue to move forward. And then on the opposite page from that vellum, I also left that page blank so that I can come back and do kind of like a life audit where I can list out the things in my life that are working, that are serving me, that I am happy with. And then I can list the things that are not working. And that list is kind of private. So I'm not going to do that in this video, but that is why I left that other page blank, because I know what I'm going to be doing with it. I'm just not in a place where I can share that with the world. No one wants to put all of their flaws on paper for the world to see. I don't think that that is that unusual. And is it a rebel with a plan video if I don't give you a hawk sighting? He is always at my side. I mentioned in a previous video that he knows that I'm dealing with a lot of anxiety, so he is just my constant companion. And he was leaning against me for most of this, which is why sometimes the camera shakes. And worth it. I love this dog so much. Rescuing him was the best thing that ever happened to our family, and he is just the best. So now I'm just going to plan out Monday. I'm going to try to take this one day at a time because I don't want to overstress myself when I am already on the verge of burnout. I want to be able to take things one day at a time. So that is what I am going to do. All of my plans are going to be made either the night before or the morning of, and that's just going to be how it is. And if you can read that, this bullet journal video was going to go up on Monday, but I did a poll in our Discord and everyone wanted to see the Get Unstuck video first. So that got changed, you know, as things do. So now I'm just going to decorate for a minute. I'm going to put down some of my Halloween washi and some of my Halloween stickers. And I'm just going to make this mine. It's not going to be the most aesthetic thing I've ever made, but it's going to be fun and it's going to be playful. And I really think that coming back to my bullet journal at this time is the right decision. I feel good about it. I want to be in it and have it open, and I want to write in it. And that is miles from where I was with the notebook. So, did I dump my bullet journal too soon? Did I not give it enough chance? I don't know, but I know that I'm happy now. And I'm so glad that you decided to spend this time with me today. Please don't forget to smash all those YouTube buttons for me and leave me a comment below and let me know what you're working with. What planner are you in right now? Are you looking forward to 2026? Where do you want to be planner wise? I love you so much. Bye.